Today wins.
Yes. What's normal?
Pues también, ya tengo que ganar.
Ojalá.
No sea más difícil.
No vetiin vastaan.
Hi. How are you doing?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
How many points? Half.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, definitely.
Now today's important.
You are working in the same time. Yes. So it does not matter.
The last one. That one or I asked
Oh, this one.
yeah, this one the same.
Okay, you can see. I agree.
Igual que pagar
Sí, que arranquen a salir.
es que sí que puede ser también, pero no se lo
Ok, vale. Secretario, ¿le pusiste plan?
Sí, pero habría que pagar todo el que...
No, entonces no. Entonces no. I will move you
Yes,
out,
yes.
okay?
Yeah, sure.
I have to wait until your opponent comes.
Okay, so I will call
Because,
them, okay?
okay, you will play in the ball the fight the
Yes,
Kyoto.
exactly. So I
Okay,
will
se
call
van los
them.
carteles también.
Subo manualmente estas partidas.
Buenas tardes a todos, fueron 16 horas. Hoy nos visitan para dar el comienzo de la ronda el empresario Miguel Garro de Samboy Empresarial, que es un fuerte empresario de la Cámara de Comercio de la ciudad de Samboy, y el gran maestro Miguel Viescas, 8 veces campeón de España, conocido por todos ustedes del mundo ajedrecístico. No me imagino a nadie aquí que no haya visto una partida de Miguel Viescas en juego. Good afternoon, everybody. We have the honor to have here Mr. Miguel Garro, is a businessman of Sambolar, which is an important reference commerce here in Samboy de Llobregat. And we have Grandmaster Miguel Viescas, eight times winner champion of Spain. I imagine that everybody saw some games of Miguel Viescas in their time for playing in this tournament. Por lo que quiero que vamos a dar la campanada, por favor, los puntos. Muchas gracias.
You're banned.
Hello, folks. Welcome to round... What round is this? Is this round 5 of the Llobregat Open? This is Vlad commentating, tuning in from Bucharest, Romania. We have just started a game, and it looks like some sort of Slav. I cannot really make out the moves yet, but okay, I guess it's a typical semi-Slav? Is that what it looks like? Well, I guess it's up to White to determine which variation that he wants to pick here. But looks like Anna-Maja has gone for a semi-Slav setup. Ha, nice one, Debmate. Welcome to the stream. Oh, there's an E... Okay, so E3... There are some extra options being opened, such as, you know, b3, queen c2, even g3. Like, okay, if the opponent saw her earlier game against the g3 setup, then he might go for that. But instead he goes knight b to d2. This was recommended by Angelika Valkova and Gyula Pop in the very, very interesting d4 course on Chessable. Sadly, for White, it's not supposed to pose any problems at all. And I believe Black quickly equalizes with a timely c5 push, if I remember correctly, this variation. I think knight b to d7 is not correct in this position, however. I don't think knight b to d7 is the best way to play this, but let me quickly check the database here. I'm going to look at the Masters database and hopefully can get back to you with a quick answer. So e3 when it was played earlier, then e6, and knight b to d2. Knight b to d2 is like the third most common in the database, after b3 and bishop to d3. Actually, knight b to d7 is fine here. Database. I'm not using Chessable right now. I'm not even logged in on my computer. I'm logged in on my phone, and that's exactly what I was doing before joining the voice channel here. I was doing some anti-Catalan prep on Chessable. I'm not going to mention the exact course, however, just because, you know, I'm paranoid like that. If one of my future opponents is listening to this, very low likelihood of that happening. But, you know, still trying to prevent leaking all of my tournament prep. Anti-capitalist prep. No, I said anti-Catalan. But anti-capitalist prep could be coming next weekend when we're voting for our president. And one of the candidates is this pro-Russia idiot who just spews nonsense. So, you know, if more than half of the voters who turn out vote for him, then we are in dire straits. And again, not the rock band. Okay, so he goes for this knight b to d2 and b3 setup. This really isn't supposed to be too challenging, like theoretically speaking. Black can choose from a number of good options here, bishop to d6, pawn to b6. These are all fine. Yeah, I mean, there's a high rate of draws in this variation. It's a fairly drawish position. But that does bring me to a pretty interesting question. In the slow Slav, the so-called slow Slav with e3 rather than early knight c3, I should check what Sami Shankland or Sethuraman give against this knight b to d2, because I don't really remember much. So if you bear with me for a brief amount of time, I will try to find this for you and tell you exactly what these authors recommend. So let's see, what does Sethuraman give? Well, Setharaman actually says that we should refrain from playing e6 and locking in our c8 bishop in this move order. So that repertoire doesn't match. Setharaman recommends bishop to g4, pinning that knight on f3 in this variation. So I can safely close that file. So that doesn't match at all. And then let's see what our boy Sammy Shankland recommends. Would be nice if I could find the freaking course, though. That would be very nice indeed. Oh yeah, this is gonna take an eternity, isn't it? Is b6 followed by c5 a plan at some point? Yes, I believe that is a viable option. However, I prefer to move bishop to d6 here. Just very logical. Queen c6 line. What queen c6 line did I mention? The queen doesn't really belong on e7 here. It's more common to keep the queen on d8 for the time being and optimize your development with moves such as rook to e8, b6, bishop to b7, and then strike with c5 when the moment is right. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to rush e5. It's probably easier to play for c5 later on. But it still makes sense to improve your pieces before doing anything too rash. Okay, guys, hold up. I am making a small breakthrough in finding the Shankland Semislav course with black. By the way, there's no given. It's not a given that Anna-Maja is even following such recommendations. This is more just for general knowledge, I guess. Okay, Shankland. I found it. Shankland Semislav. Where's this 4e3 move? Where white omits knight c3. Okay, so very, very interesting. Sam Shankland recommends after knight b to d2, the simple transposition to some non-critical line of the QGD by just going bishop to e7. And then after a further b3 by white, he recommends short castling, which of course makes sense. I mean, the knight on d2 for white is really not a critical move in the Queen's Gambit declined positions. So I'll even read out the comments from that chessable course. So on knight b to d2, he writes, "This is passive and not too challenging. The knight really belongs on c3 in these structures to make it harder for black to achieve the c6 to c5 advance, which he can play even right now if he is so inclined." Of course, he should be substituted with g in our case. White is already advertising that he'll develop with b3 and bishop to b2, and while this move does avoid stonewall plans, committing the knight to d2 this early means black is much happier playing a move like bishop to e7. The knight also really belongs on c3 in these structures because it prevents black from giving white hanging pawns with d5 takes c4. Wait, sorry, that doesn't... Hold up. There must be some mistake there. No, that's right, actually. The knight belongs on c3 in these structures because it prevents black from giving him hanging pawns with d5 takes on c4 followed by c6 to c5. Since then, at least white would have the d5 pawn advance available. Okay, so that pretty much sums it up. I guess bishop to e7 would have been a good move and quite flexible against this knight b to d2. And maybe the point is that we delay the development of the queenside knight and see if we can strike with c5 first. Always an option too. Very, very interesting. And Abhimanyu Mishra, in particular, Abhimanyu Mishra is a great proponent of this bishop to e7 plan. But okay, enough about the current status of theory. Enough about the current status of theory, so let's just go back to our actual game. Bishop to d6 was played by Anna-Maja, and then bishop to b2, logical and expected by Jaroslav Paprocki. Okay. So this position has been seen multiple times before. I wouldn't say it's sharp or even that theoretical, but, you know, it exists. It's out there. And there are frankly way too many games in the database from this position still, surprisingly. I'm getting nearly 600 hits in the database that I'm using for this particular position that we have on the board now. G6, this G6 Slav is a weapon that hasn't really brought her as much success lately, as far as I can remember. Although she did score, I believe she scored her WGM norm from a G6 Schlechter Slav. But okay, I might be wrong. Is that database the 2025? Yes, I'm using the Mega Database 2025, correct. Which is a fairly recent release. It contains roughly 11 million games. Most of them OTB, but sometimes the Title Tuesday stuff gets in there too, which corrupts the quality of the database, if you ask me. But okay, nobody really is asking me about that. So, if they asked me for my feedback, if somebody from ChessBase emailed and asked Vlad, what do you believe about including Blitz games from online into our Mega database, I would say don't do it, because it taints the quality. It taints the quality of the games contained in the database. Does Anna-Maja have any GM norms? No. As far as I know, she has one woman grandmaster norm and no GM or IM norms. Yeah, the Title Tuesday games getting into the database is very strange. Very, very strange, because those games are notably really low quality compared to what a grandmaster could play in classical OTB. And it also messes up the way that you do targeted opening prep against a titled opponent. Because like you have to start filtering out, and you have to start looking at all the lines they play, and then you realize, oh, he's only played this bullshit in Title Tuesday, so probably they're not going to repeat the same variation over the board. So yeah, that's a big problem with this Mega database, that it includes Title Tuesday games. And again, if there was some survey from ChessBase to all their users, even the ones who pay for the software, they could ask this question and see who likes it and who hates it. Another day, another Slav. That's right. This even has more of a semi-Slav flavor. I mean, it is a semi-Slav, but it's just knight b to d2. Sort of anti-Moran, if you want to call it that. But again, let's not get too caught up in the semantics here. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's a bit concerning that she's thinking here. I mean, what other moves do you have compared to, let's say, castling? Oh, what did she play? Did she play knight to e4? Huh. This is a move played by David Anton by Abhijit Gupta, so it seems to be something that's quite trendy. This is a trendy move. Yeah, okay, Alberto, I'm not gonna start applying these sort of advanced filtering if I'm just, in the mood to prep in like 5 minutes. Okay, so this knight to e4 is actually a move that looks a bit strange at first glance, but it has a definite point. If white ignores this, then her next move would be pawn to f5, building up the so-called stone wall. Well, yeah, Abhijit Gupta is probably not the biggest name in the chess world, but he's still a respected grandmaster. And then David Anton is also quite high rated. And this move is actually trending, so it will be interesting to see what Paprotsky chooses here. I believe the main line here is bishop to e2 followed by f5, but let me double check. No, in fact, the main move is just taking on e4. So let's say takes on e4. Yeah, this is a good move. It's an interesting one. So take e4, knight retreats to d2, and we still play pawn to f5. So we get some nice and simple imbalance of the position. At least the pawn structures are getting a bit more clearly defined, and maybe black can hope for a kingside attack in the future. Yeah, so this is actually, no, like she's posing, finally, for the first time, I believe, with the black pieces in this tournament, she's opting for something that's quite challenging to the opponent, like theoretically speaking. Now, this is not a Kohli. This was a sort of anti-Moran. Hello, Akshat. Some sort of anti-Moran slow Slav. Like, bro opted for e3 on the fourth move, not even developing with knight c3 yet. So maybe he's afraid of, you know, proper Moran. Yeah, this is not even... Like, dude, you're like Altold here. Like, you know, when Altold says, oh, this was a Slav, but instead it was a QGD, like, there are two missing elements. First of all, there was no pawn. First of all, the pawn is on Hans nötig. James Bond in the chat. Hello. Her score is, yeah, 0.5 out of 3. Currently losing some rating, but hey, with a victory today, everything could switch around. Hello, chess lover. Greetings back to the US. Hope you had a nice long weekend and enjoyed the turkey celebrations for Thanksgiving. This is a boomer opening. You guys are funny. Well, as far as chess goes and the distribution of ages within the chess world nowadays, I think once you reach 30, you can be easily classified as a boomer within the chess world. So I don't see anything wrong with that statement. I also identify as a boomer, 32 going on 33 next year. So it's totally fine to have plenty of gray hairs from all the blunders. Chess, the most boomer sport in the world? No, I don't think so. I think you could find more boomer sports out there. If you look at the distribution of practitioners in chess, then you will find that a lot of the current active players are aged somewhere from like, I think the peak is from like 14 to 16. Like most players who have a FIDE rating nowadays, and I did this as part of my research into the FIDE rating distribution, most of the players who are rated in classical chess today were born in 2008. I see that we have an actual definition of boomers in the chat as well. Well, it's nice to have all of this sort of age distribution. But yeah, most of the current active players in the world were born in 2008. Let that sink in for a second. So, yeah. And of course, I had the tournament recently. It was a 6-round tournament. And the ages of my opponents were as follows. This was a classical tournament. First round, I faced a 13-year-old. Then I lost to a 13-year-old. Then I faced a 15-year-old, then a 17, then a 16, and finally a 14. So, you know, like their ages combined, when you sum those 6 up, it's clearly less than 100. David, you're so boomer that you have to get around to learning how to play again and learning algebraic notation. Wow. How do you find the algebraic notation compared to the descriptive? Like I had the opposite experience, of course. Like I learned in algebraic and I had to read some old books written in descriptive. And it was a bit tough, but after, a couple of days, you kind of get the hang of it. So algebraic comes very naturally to me, of course. And there are some old books, for example, there was this Ludek Pachman, I believe, Middle Game Chess Strategy. Pretty good book. There's a Dover reprint that has the descriptive notation. It's an abridged version, and it has descriptive, and there are no versions of that with the algebraic as far as I know. Yeah, exactly. Queen to queen's bishop 2. There we go. Somebody knows it. And what's this? Pawn to king's bishop 4. What kind of throws me off in the descriptive notation is that you always have to say the ranks from the perspective of the player. Like, c4 for white is just pawn to queen's bishop 4, but c5 for black is the same. Like, if c4 and c5 are both notated the same, it's like, hold up. I want to have unique identifiers. Okay, so what happened? Queen c2 happened, and then f5. So we have the stonewall structure. Hello, Albertina. Wait, can I run ads? I don't have the power to do that. Mods, can you please run some ads for this wonderful user who has decided to spend nearly 7,000 channel points for it? No, but Stonewall is quite good here. You run. What can I do, GM Solver? You want me to promote something? I can run some ads for Anna-Maja's Patreon. As far as I know, FIDE only approves algebraic notation for official score sheets nowadays. So whether you want to use short form algebraic versus long form algebraic, I think both are fine. But it doesn't really make sense to write D2 to D4 if you can just write D4. So I think descriptive notation, if an arbiter saw you using it in a FIDE-rated tournament, they would simply give you a new score sheet and enforce that you must write in algebraic. What is the theoretical status of this? Very non-critical. Very, very non-critical, but this knight to e4 move by Anna was quite popular at the highest levels of chess nowadays. But okay, this queen to c2 has never been played. Hold up. Queen to c2 is a novelty. Queen to c2, okay guys, this is getting spicy. I'm gonna add some engine here. So I'm gonna briefly add the engine in. Nobody has played queen c2 in this position. That's crazy. Okay, by transposition we reach, it's very funny. Apparently we reach, after f5 we're back, and there have been a number of games here. Let's see, 16 games in the position after pawn to f5. But okay, very non-critical. Most of the players in the database here are not even professionals, so. The highest rated game I can find in the database is between Zlatko Ilincic and Devnani Kush. And of course, Zlatko Ilincic is one of these very famous Serbian grandmasters who managed to tank his rating all the way down to the 2200s. Incidentally, he's also the very first winner of the Arad Open in 2008, back when he was still 25-30 or so. So, yeah, Zlatko Ilincic donating points to his Indian opponent in Serbian round robins. Shouldn't be anything new or surprising. Okay, what's this? Save up to... She's typing in chat while playing her game. Check her shoes. What's happening? Save up to 50% in our store. Let me click on that link. I have not clicked on this link yet. Huh, okay. This is the Alliance merch store. And they have hoodies and shirts and blings and stuff. Okay. Well, you heard the lady. The sale is ongoing if you want to buy any merch. Hello, Stuckfish. Welcome. Yeah, this is a very non-critical position. I mean, okay, this bishop to e2, of course, makes sense. We expect her to castle now or go queen to f6. Do they have Burberry sneakers? Huh. Correct. Good job, GM Solver. You packed the correct pair of shoes. Also, guys, okay, I'm going to ask, this is a question mostly geared towards, let's say, younger generations like Gen Z and stuff. Is it common to wear black shoes with white socks nowadays? Because I'm seeing pictures from the Singapore Open, and again, I'm not sure if this is like a trend thing among people of a certain age, or maybe it's a local custom in Singapore, but lots of the arbiters are walking around wearing these sort of sandal-like black shoes with white socks. And I'm wondering if, if people have any information about that, because to me that screams, I don't know what it screams. But it it screams the opposite of stylish, let me put it that way. But maybe I'm old and I don't understand the new trends. Queen to f6 played. I think she has a very comfortable position here. g5 might be coming sooner or later. Sooner or later might happen. Okay, you guys are spamming this g5 emote. Okay, I don't know if she will play g5. Oh, g5 has been played. Oh, that's why you guys are spamming g5. I'm behind because I'm only looking at the 2D board. Sorry. Too many screens in front of me. Can't keep up with all of them. So g5 is a novelty. Fresh Prince. Oh my goodness, you have just described like the average Balkan dad who's like, quite portly, let's say, and wearing some sort of Nike or Adidas tracksuit and likes to tuck in the pants into the long white tennis socks. We might not get into an endgame. That's a good prediction. Hypnogen, I believe. Pretty good prediction. There aren't too many endgames to be had from this attacking plan. But okay, I really like her choice of opening. Hello, are we winning yet? Balkan chic dad. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this g5 is slightly unusual, I guess. But, I mean, she is always in the mood to push kingside pawns.
G5.
94.
That's what's exciting.
Oh, what happened? Who spammed this? You blew my eardrums. Who the fuck was that? Oh my lord. Who spammed the soundboard? I need to mute the entire soundboard for this channel. Jesus Christ. How do I mute the soundboard entirely? My lord. Was that you, Akjet? No, how? Who did that? I hate whoever did that because you really blew my eardrums here. Unbelievable. I demand reparations for this audacity. No, it's one of the mods. It must be one of the mods. Which one? Who did that? The pawn on f5 is overloaded. How is the pawn on f5 overloaded? I don't understand. The pawn on f5 has, like, okay, it has one job at the moment. It has the job to gain some space. And, well, yeah, I guess grabbing some space and protecting e4 are both good roles for this pawn on f5. Oh, it's not about loud music, it's about a loud, unexpected sound. Because I have the stream muted. Obviously, I don't want to hear the sound of my own voice. Who does that? So, the origin of the sound must have been from the VC channel in Discord. Like, at least I understand this much. It's not much, but it's something. It's honest work. Do you guys know how to mute the soundboard for like an entire channel? Because I don't know how to do that. Oh, I think I know what I have to do. I just have to mute the soundboard for a particular user. Aha. It's one way to do it. Yeah, G5 was a novelty. Knight takes e4 was played. I think white is significantly underestimating some of the danger here. I actually do not believe that taking on e4. Yeah, how to reduce the volume I also know. I don't think that taking on e4 is correct here. This queen to h6 can be quite annoying. Bucks, I remember there being an option where you could actually just like select. Yeah, D takes E, probably not as good as F takes E, but don't ask me to explain to you why. So D takes E, yes, this knight to E5 is quite annoying. Oh, because there's this bishop to h5 check that displaces the black king for one tempo in some lines. Wow. My lord, I don't think I actually fully grasp the difference between these lines here. Yeah, I don't actually get it. Well, I guess the point is that you shouldn't be opening up the D file if your king is not going to castle. I mean, that's as much as I can tell you about the position. Guys, you know about the advent of chess. I have heard about that, but I don't know what it is, really. I've heard this thing being thrown around the internet. Yeah, that c5 intermediate move is quite interesting there. But I do not believe that white... Oh, Agne, thank you so much for the raid with a party of 171. Welcome raiders, welcome Agne. Does anyone have the fen for the current position? Yes, I do. She hasn't captured back yet. Okay. So I'm going to simply copy paste the fen in the... Illegal! Oh, Alan is also receiving a sub. Thank you so much, Stuckfish, for gifting the subs. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody joining us, or maybe good evening or good morning, wherever you might be at. Did Agne gain rating? Let's see. Was she playing an OTB tournament, guys? On the December list, she gained +8 in Rapid. +8 Rapid FIDE rating after playing a tournament in Vilnius, Lithuania, scoring 5 out of 9. Okay, but she hasn't. It does not appear that she has been playing that much classical chess, mostly rapid. Why are they even playing on DGT boards? What do you mean? On what boards would you want a streamer to play on? I don't think I understand the question. There is a pinned message that should send you to the live board position. Wow, fly you fools. You should be receiving commissions. Oh, you're referring to the boards not working on chess.com. Okay. I get it now. Oh, this is a fascinating position, really. It's fascinating to look at, and it's fascinating that already black has a big choice between which pawn to recapture with. Both of those leading to really different positions. I mean, in the classical sense of keeping the center blocked when you're attacking on the flank, like, you know, let's just discuss principles. In the classical sense of keeping the center blocked when you want to go for a side attack, it makes a lot more sense to keep the center stable with f takes e4. Because when you take asymmetrically, when you take with the DE, with D pawn, this is the game of Anna-Maja. Yes, thank you so much for pasting the link, the same link that is pinned in the chat. Appreciate it. DC. DC would be a wise choice. Hanging the queen with check? Or what do you mean? Because DE is the opposite of a wise choice. You're trying to attack on the flank, but you're making the center more fluid. So you probably don't want to make the center more fluid. But then again, there are quite concrete reasons why the recapture doesn't work with the D pawn. It's not so much that we can base everything on general principles here. But still, trying to make sense of the position in natural language sometimes helps. I wouldn't hesitate to take with the f-pawn, because I'm a stonewall player with white, especially in fast time controls. And it's quite typical that you take with the f-pawn here to open up the f-file as well. What should white do to retaliate after retreating the f3 knight? Opening up the f-file or pawn storming the queen's side? That's a good question. I think currently it's black's king that stands to be a bit more exposed long term. So let's say after black takes on e4 with the f-pawn, white goes either knight e1 or knight to d2, and maybe going for a quick f3 is the way for white to proceed. Hello, Aware Eagle. Ooh, DE, D5 would follow, starting exchanges. I do not agree. D takes e4, d5 pawn to e5, and black has a net strategic superiority there. In fact, the position is going to be blocked, and black will be able to continue the pawn storm. So no, I don't think that's the move. I think d takes e4, knight e5 has been given as the way to continue for white. This is an Anna-Maja style position. You trust her to win this. That's lovely. We hope that is the case indeed. So let's see. DE. Yeah, this DE is very ambitious. DE followed by D5? Oh, I actually think queen to h6 was missed here. Queen to h6. Very strong move. Very strong. Actually, if you take with a d pawn and white pushes d5, they're absolutely toast after queen h6. Quite incredible. My proposed line fails. My proposed line of d5, e5 actually blunders some dc6, bc6, and then knight to d2. And in fact, it is white who has a much better position. Very, very interesting. Yeah, because white will be able to break with f3 quickly afterwards. Yeah, this is very much an Anna-Maja style position. So we expect her to take with the f-pawn. The knight will retreat somewhere, let's say d2. Queen h6, pawn to g3 is forced. And after you provoke this g3, I think you can start nailing down on the light squares. And you can just push g4. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting, and that comes as a pawn sacrifice, but it really opens up the g-file as well for black. Fascinating, fascinating game. And she did take with the d-pawn. Sag. That was not the correct recapture. I'm like way behind. I don't think I'm that behind, am I? Let's refresh. Not that behind. I just see that she took with the d pawn. Plus, if you're used to Pia crammling, no, the pawn storm on the king side is not really a pawn storm. Let's put it that way. The pawn storm on the king side is more of an illusion, but the d5 is a blunder. Knight to e5 is the move that is nearly winning for white. Very, very surprising. So knight to e5 is practically nearly winning tactically. Insane. Oh, and he retreats. So she dodges the bullet here. He did not calculate. Apparently, he was not even considering the knight e5 move that much. So he must have missed. And the gamble pays off. Anna-Maja gambled here with this move, d takes e4. Or maybe she didn't realize that white had a strong response, knight to e5. And now after knight to d2, we are in business. We are in business with the move queen to h6. This is turning into some sharpness. Not sure you'll have enough time to start pushing the h-pawn yet, but we'll see. We'll see how the game develops. Yeah, knight to e5 was required, but not so easy to see all the complications there. I love how Super Mario is just like giving us the historical facts. Just talking about history here. So, what is she going to play here? Hnefatafel? What is this Hnefatafel? Never heard of it. Should I Google this term? First time. I just know the Isle of Man or Lewis pieces. Can you explain the 95 move again? I cannot. I wish I could. I'm not strong enough at chess to explain knight to e5. So if I was, let's say, 22, 2300, I might be able to, but from the position of a weak 1900, I'm not strong enough to do so. But there are some, basically the main point that I could glean from the analysis is that there's this annoying bishop to h5 check, and that destabilizing the center with the asymmetric capture allows white to push very quickly, and the open d file is actually going to work to their advantage. So yeah, very, I think, unusual capture with the d pawn here for Anna-Maja, but let's hope that the pawn storm actually succeeds. There are pluses and minuses for this pawn structure. Like on the one hand, you build up the pawn storm with one extra pawn brought over from the queen side to the king side. On the other hand, you're not going to have an open, semi-open f-file to play with. Queen to h6 has been played. So after queen to h6, Mostly white is forced to go pawn to g3. If not pawn to g3, then what else? And black is going to probably not castle short any longer. So I would expect the knight to come to f6, the bishop to come to d7, and finally, I expect black to castle on the long side. So we're going to have an opposite side castling position. Black will have to go through a lot of contortions. This is true, but white has the first weakness on the king side. If white has to push g3, remember, this is a player who likes attacking. This is Yaroslav Paprocki is a guy who enjoys attacking chess, so he's probably not going to feel that comfortable if he's the one facing this incoming pawn storm. This game is turning exciting. So maybe blame or praise g5 for the fact the game turned exciting quickly. Actually, there's a very good question. Why am I even wearing my earbuds while commentating if nobody else is on the call or I'm not expecting to speak with anyone? It's a very, very good question. g3 has been played. I don't expect her to short castle. You guys expect her to short castle here? Damn. I expect knight f6, bishop d7 setups and long castling eventually. But okay, that takes a few moves, right? You can't just autopilot. I'm expecting knight f6, bishop d7, long castles. And I'm also expecting this maneuver bishop d7, bishop e8, bishop h5. Yeah, we should be able to go quickly knight f6. And I really enjoy this idea to attack on the king side if she can castle queen side. But then again, also white could play for d5 break or even start going for like very quick a4, a5. Who knows? White wants d5 followed by d5. Possible. But if the diagonal is plugged, if you are plugging the diagonal with a knight on f6, I don't think white is ever in time to push d5. It's looking like a game that could turn quite spicy. You see the clock, but not the time. Yeah. If you zoom in onto the stream, white has 1 hour and 17 minutes. Black has 1 hour and 3 minutes. Yeah, so 117 and 103, respectively. That's because the organizers who set this up, I think they don't really use the Lichess or chess.com broadcasting service, but rather they only host the games on their homepage. So they might not have the same bells and whistles as you're used to from other streamers or other tournaments. But should be okay to look and zoom in at the video feed where you can see the clocks in real time. There's no delay. Oh yeah, if you're on mobile, then it makes sense you'd not be able to zoom in so easily. I really like that there's no delay. Like, no delay is excellent. F4. f4 was recommended. Now, I don't want to make assumptions about your level, but I think it's very low if you recommend f4, because f4 blunders knight takes e4, which comes with tempo, and, well, this bishop on d6 hanging with check is spelling doom. Plus, you have no attack. Like, there's actually no attack with the h-file not being open. f4 doesn't do anything yet. So you have managed to successfully blunder your most important pawn. Hello, hello. Like, guys, when you recommend moves, please make sure they don't get refuted on the next ply. Like, it's okay if your line gets refuted, let's say 4 or 5 moves down the road. Then it's just normal, because that happens a lot in analyzing with a stronger player. But isn't it black's turn to move? Oh, you thought they were suggesting f4 for white. Interesting. I imagine that they were suggesting f4 for black. My bad then. If I misunderstood, my apologies. But what does f4 really do for white? In creating this pawn tension between g5 and f4 is not so great for white. Queen h2. Somebody wants to sacrifice their queen. Wow. Yeah, so basically, like, let's say you have a game OTB and you analyze with your opponent, like after the game, you do a post-mortem analysis. You would never suggest, or you try not to suggest moves which get refuted immediately on the very next move by your opponent, right? Like, unless you are a beginner at chess, you normally do not suggest moves that blunder outright in one move. It's possible that you recommend a move, or you want to analyze a move that fails like 2 or 3 moves deep down the road. That's normal. Some infinities are bigger than other infinities. Wow, very philosophical. Very, very philosophical. So yeah, this f4 idea for white, I also don't think is too wise. Maybe white can just hold and wait if black wants to still attack there. But I really don't think f4 is so wise. It's very weakening, in fact. And long term, black has a plan to start pushing h5, h4, and open up even more lines. So, very mathematical. Luca. Yeah, Lucafo 11. You counted to infinity. Chuck Norris also did it. Twice. Ah, you know the joke. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Stole my Chuck Norris joke. Sorry, there was another move recommended in the chat, which I must have missed. Let me scroll up a bit. Let me scroll up. And Mr. Selendich here with us in the chat is telling that f4 also is quite bad because we have this immediate tactical refutation where e3 hangs with check at the end. Now count down from infinity. That's reserved for Chuck Norris. That is not up for mere mortals to achieve. Chuck also counted the irrational numbers. That is true. That is very true. Oh, so yeah, actually knight f6, yeah. Whoever recommended knight f6, this is probably a very logical move. Yeah, it does a lot of good things. So knight f6 blocks the long diagonal, prepares to develop the light-squared bishop to d7 and possibly castling queenside later. It could also be helpful in the context of putting the queen on g6 and then advancing h5, h4, trying to open up the h-file for good. I think black's play is more natural, but of course, when you put this into the engine, it's going to spit out zeros or something. So, you know, having a more natural position to play is still very beneficial when you're not a top level GM. But she is burning a lot of time on her clock, as per usual. Also, I believe we're also live on YouTube, which I have not greeted you guys before. My apologies if that's the case. I see 49 players, 49 watchers, 49 viewers. Maybe they're players too. 49 watching on YouTube and 340 something watching on Twitch. Hello to all. I like the thumbnail. The thumbnail on her YouTube live stream is quite nice, very professional. Very, very professional picture. Knight f6 has been played. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Who is better? Who is better in this position and why? After the move knight to f6. Okay, you want to hear some fun facts. So after knight to f6, there was a move suggestion of f4 earlier in the chat, which in the meantime we have understood that it meant a move suggestion for white. Taking on f3 en passant and then pushing g4 in order to capture the pawn on e3 with check is a huge mistake for black. And again, the reason I can tell you this is because I have a companion who is rated about 3,500 next to me. His name is Berserk13. It's my favorite chess engine. I don't think it's better than Leela or Stockfish. That would be very delusional. But I think it's just human enough for me to understand its evals better than Stockfish's or Leela's. So Mr. Berserk thinks that f4 would be a huge mistake for white, but taking en passant would be a huge mistake for black. So instead it recommends the simple rook to g8. Instead, the best move for white in the position is f3. Now this is really, really shocking. Because if f3 is the best move to make, as given by the engine, that is a very hard move to play with the white pieces, because it goes against the grain of conventional wisdom that says you should not be making pawn moves on the side where the opponent is attacking you. So, ultimately, I'm gonna stop short of claiming that f3 is unfindable, but I'm very, very skeptical that any human rated over, let's say, 2100, as white and black both are, would find this move and play it confidently. So, while f3 is given as a top choice for the engines, I really don't expect it to be played. Instead, I expect a move such as rook a to d1. Far more logical, more positionally minded, and after rook a to d1, play might continue something like bishop to d7, let's say. Or maybe if Anna-Maja wants to bail out with her king, maybe she could consider even short castling. Maybe short castling is still in the books. The board takes a long time to update. Yes, this is fair criticism. This is very fair criticism. Not much we can do about it, however. When life gives you lemons, you must drink lemonade. I would expect white to go rook a to d1. It's definitely the move that screams to be played, because white wants to push with d5 at some point. Because if the center gets exploded quickly enough, the pawn storm has no chance to succeed. Like, pretty much, black is already so far advanced with the pawns on the king side, it's in white's best interest to explode the center with a well-timed d5. Thanks to all the new followers who are joining the ranks today. We are now up to nearly 38,000 followers on Twitch. And I believe on YouTube we have recently crossed, and again, I use the word we in a very loose sense. Obviously, I'm not really part of the channel, I'm just a guest. But I guess on YouTube there are 10.4k subscribers. So slightly above 10,000. And on Twitch we're nearing 40,000 followers soon. What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Stalkers? What does it mean? It means subscribers or what? Is that what it refers to? This 309. Okay, I do know what the term stalker means in the English language, but in the context of the command, I'm not sure what the 309 number refers to. Also, we have a promotion. We have a promotion on the Chessable course, starting out e4, e5. It's on sale. It's currently on sale. It's discounted from its current price by something like minus 33%. And the sale is ongoing for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So if you'd like to get a solid e4, e5 repertoire aimed mostly for intermediate level players, then click on the link in the chat, head over to Chessable, and you can purchase it. There's also a 30-day money-back guarantee. If something is wrong with the course, you paid your money, but you don't like it, you can get a refund within 30 days. No questions asked. Terms and conditions apply. Also, I'm not affiliated with Chessable. See you, GM Solver. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Oh, stalkers means viewers on the live stream. I see. So the subs, we have fewer subs than viewers. That makes a lot of sense. That actually makes sense. And if you're wondering what sort of openings Anna-Maja recommends from the black side against e4, e5, I believe against the Italian, she just recommends the straight-up bishop to c5 stuff. Then against the Rue Lopez, she recommends the Archangel, something that Fabiano Caruana has popularized recently. So again, a setup based on an early bishop to c5. And in the Scotch, guess what? Huge surprise, she also advocates for a bishop to c5 early development in the Scotch, also known as and kingside safety. Now, you could ask, what? Development and kingside safety? What? I don't see that in this game. No one recommends the cow opening. Well, the cow opening is a meme. It's a horrendous opening. And, you know, I died mid-ad? Oh, I'm not even running any. And usually what happens is if I start running the engine on Chessbase, that consumes a lot of hardware resources. And maybe the Discord call gets a bit laggy. But I'm not running any engine at the moment. Let me see. I might just, you know, I'll just kill the Chessbase app entirely. I will just kill it directly from Task Manager because it is lagging for me a bit too. Okay, should be much better now, hopefully. The course itself has good reviews on Chessable. So like it's her first course. Normally, somebody who is a new author to Chessable, there might be some growing pains. There could be some lines omitted, but I think she's done an admirable job. And the course is clearly I cannot speak English anymore. The course is clearly labeled as suitable for beginner and intermediate players. So it doesn't make any statement of the sort that, oh, it's great for experts or titled players. It's not. If you're a titled player, if you're an expert level player, you're probably not going to find too many new things in this course. But if you're a beginner or an intermediate player, let's say around or below, let's say below 1700 FIDE, if you're below 1600 FIDE, I think there's a lot of value to unpack from the course. If you're above, let's say 1800, I think it's probably a bit too basic for you. Just, to keep it as an honest review. But she explains the plans very, very well, very logically, and there's much to learn if you want a solid e4, e5 repertoire with black. That's it. I'm done selling you. I'm done selling stuff to you guys. Let's talk about the game. Apparently the sales tactic didn't work too well because we have lost some viewers. Hello, Venus. Welcome. She's almost letting out a yawn, but holding it in. I love how it's so obvious when that happens, because the nostrils get dilated. Like, you're trying to mask it, you're trying to hold it, but no, your nose is usually the one to betray you. Playing for the enemy team. Game name. This is chess. For checkers, please press 2. To hear the same message in Spanish, please press 9. To return to the main menu, please press pound. Yawn Nipomniachi. That's a good one. What does the professor teach? I don't know. Have you tried a Google search with his name? He definitely looks like a professor. I would not be let me put it this way. I would not be surprised to hear that he's actually a professor. Instead, he's a DevOps engineer working in Gdynia, in Poland. No, that's not him. He has a different guy. Same name, different guy. False alarm, false alarm. Don't look at his LinkedIn. That's not him. That's not him. Apparently, more than one person can have the same name in Poland. Here it's against the law. Rook A to D1 has been played as expected. Yeah, of course. It was the most logical move. It was the absolute most logical move. I don't know. Would you castle here, guys? Would you castle short? Or would you go something like bishop to d7? Bishop d7 might be risky. Bishop d7 might be risky here because, like, there are tactics. What do you mean gone again? Am I gone? Can you not hear my voice? Okay, I'll try to, I don't have any other apps that are currently taking many resources. I was probably just not talking. Yeah, that happens. Sometimes that happens. I know it's rare, but sometimes there are moments when I don't speak. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks. So this bishop to d7 idea that I suggested earlier seems dangerous in view of d5. Unfortunately, you hear me loud and clear. You can always mute the stream if that bothers you. You can always mute it. There is an option. I'm a bit concerned about the placement of these two bishops on the d file if we play bishop to d7. Like the bishop on d6 could be hanging in some lines. The rook on h8 is also not very happy. So you know. I think bishop d7 easy short castle, no? I don't know. I'm willing to roll the dice. I'm willing to roll the dice on bishop d7 if I want to play for a win. You have to calculate a bit. It's like bishop d7, d5, d takes e6, bishop takes e6, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes h8, long castles. Nah, that's not enough. You probably don't get enough there. Yeah, maybe bishop to d7 just simply fails. Wait, hold up. Bishop d7, d5, e5, d takes c6, bishop takes c6. Knight takes e4 now fails to bishop takes e4. And white has managed to lose a piece. So maybe there is some value to still considering bishop to d7, but definitely short castle appears safer. I want to take a look at this position though. This is a position that interests me. Like purely from a hypothetical point of view, what happens if we do play bishop to d7? Yeah, bishop to d7, d5, e5, c5. Oh yeah, this c5 is c5 is just crushing you. c5 is crushing and white builds a huge protected passed pawn on d6. So you cannot play bishop d7 followed by e5. You'd have to bail out. You'd have to bail out and take twice. But then there's knight to c4 by white. Wow, the line is not so simple. The line is not so simple. So bishop d7, d5, cd5, 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 knight c4 is the only move that gives white a huge advantage there. And it's only +1. So, you know, this bishop to d7 should still be under consideration to some degree. Will she play it? I don't know. I guess she is calculating. I'm sure she is calculating bishop d7 and short castling here. I don't see any other move that makes as much sense as either of those two. Will she play it soon, however? That remains to be seen. Okay, it goes rook to g8. Yes, Linux, I'm just not speaking. That's correct. Well, I was not speaking when you didn't hear me. Rook to g8 is very surprising. And I don't like it. I really, really don't like it, but she's a better chess player than me, so she has to like it. The center will explode soon, though. d5, I'm expecting white to play d5 after a fairly quick thought. And now I'm afraid the position is turning a bit in white's favor, all of a sudden. Because white really loves playing attacking chess. What is the idea of rook to g8? No. How could you push the g-pawn? Come on. Guys. Rook to g8 is not to push the g-pawn. Rook to g8 is either you push f4 or you just try to get out of the skewer on the long diagonal. When you see the rook to g8 move, you think she's gonna push g4? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 guys. But no, I actually think maybe her idea, and this could be a bit too slow, is to go g4, rook to g6, queen h5, and rook to h6. This is slow, however. So this could be something that she's considering. So just playing g4, putting the rook on g6, queen h5, rook h6. The problem there is, whenever you put the queen on h5 and you put the rook on h6, there white has the option to close the position with h4, and you don't have en passant. You don't have en passant because, well, your queen hangs. There's a bishop on e2. Yeah, rook f e1 and then bishop to either bishop to f1 or knight to f1 just kind of kills off the entire attack. Yeah, d5, of course. d5 played very quickly by white. No, I'm not sure that h4 is good because I take en passant and I start threatening sacks on g3 in many lines. In many lines, I'm actually starting to threaten sacrifices there. So g4 h4 is a bit dicey, I think. But okay, now we have to make the position has sharpened up enough to where black really has to, yeah, we have to take at least once. I think we have to take at least once. Well, probably only once because they're gonna introduce this bishop takes f6. Yeah, so I think the way this goes is we take with the e pawn. Actually, that's a good question. Which pawn do you take with? Do you take with the e or do you take with c? I probably want to take with the e pawn, so I don't allow this bishop to b5 check in any of the variations, since I'm still uncastled. So I take with e pawn, white takes on f6, we take back on f6, and now they take on d5. And we probably have to still bite the bullet here and play cd. So we're gonna be temporarily up a pawn, but our king is a bit weak. Actually, it's very sharp. This position is very sharp. This position is very sharp. Yeah, I think taking with the e pawn makes more positional sense. Also opens up the bishop. But she's gonna have to play quickly. Like, she's gonna have to make moves a bit faster than her current pace. Otherwise, time trouble is looming. Also, guys, I don't actually think I'll be able to be here on commentary duty for the entirety of the game tonight. Plans have changed. Still enjoying the breathing out eventually. Somebody like Akjet or somebody like Bucks Lion, who's also a great commentator. Did I miss some questions in the chat? I guess I did not. How about rook to g6? Oh, rook to g6 here. Rook to g6 immediately. Like, you mean immediately. Okay, rook to g6 immediately. Ooh. I don't know. Maybe, but do you really have time for this? Like, especially with the d file opening so soon. I don't know. Let's say rook g6. I take on c6. You go queen h3. Rook f2 e1 has to be forced. Rook h6. Knight f1 probably. Okay, guy. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. Oh, I have a line for you, Akjat. And she takes with the e pawn, if I can see correctly, as expected. So I have a line for you, Akjat. So in rook g6, d takes c6, queen h3, rook f2 e1, rook h6. The best move for white is not the logical knight f1 defending the mate threat, but rather knight to f3, defending the mate threat, hanging the knight in the process to take on f3 with the bishop, to only allow black to give one check on h2, and then the bishop on d6 is hanging. Now that, my friend, is computer chess. So yeah, that's an outrageous move to play in that position. Honestly, if I found a move like knight to f3 in that position, hanging my knight to the pawn and allowing a check on h2 with the heavy pieces looming on the h file, I would have to be subjected to a scan by Vladimir Kramnik. There's just no way that anybody sane finds that move. That's a computer line, guys. That is, there, like, even GMs would probably not find this move. Instead of taking on d5 for black, rook to g6, d takes c6, queen h3, rook f to e1, rook h6, knight to f3, triple exclamation mark. You just hang the knight, so then you can take on f3 with the bishop to guard the light squares, and the black bishop on d6 is still hanging. Just excellent. Pure poetry. Pure poetry, pure art. If anybody plays like that against me, I accuse them of cheating. Yeah, that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous line. Oh, guys, if you are in Anna-Maja's Discord server, a real banger just dropped roughly 1 hour ago. Check the off-topic channel in her Discord. That's a banger. That's just awesome. Congratulations, Aware Eagle. That is dope as hell. What's like the next thing to do? Hey all, I plateau at like 1100. I'm assuming this is chess.com rating. What's like the next thing to do? Just a lot of tactics. A lot of tactics. And make sure you don't just breeze through the tactics, but you actually spend time understanding why you're wrong. In order to do so, you may want to also use an engine to help you out with the analysis. But don't become too dependent on the engine analysis. It's such a fine balance to strike. Wait, hold up. He did not interpose the takes on f6, which was important. I think he misplayed this. Hold up, guys. So after d5, ed5, the opponent took on d5 and allowed us to take with the knight. This knight is a very strong, very strong piece. Very strong piece. I think he misplayed it. He should have taken on f6 with the bishop first, and then taken on d5 with the pawn again. Interesting. So momentarily we are up a pawn. Of course, it's not the most important pawn out there. It's just the c pawn. The c pawn on c6. It's not going to advance anytime soon. It's not going to become a passed pawn. But for now, black has the material advantage, and it could be comforting, you know, just knowing that you're up a pawn. So we'll see how the game evolves, but the position is still better for white. I only play Spanish, Caro-Kann, and King's Indian. That's a very solid repertoire. You should attempt to master those openings. They're very good, of course. You should attempt to master them before widening the repertoire. Those are very sound ones. So no need to branch out too widely until you have mastered them. And by master them, just it means, of course, you don't need to know 20 moves of theory, but just understand where the structures go. Omar William, what's up? What's up, bruh? What's up, bruh? How's it hanging? Yeah, just understand what counterplay you're going for, what's the typical arrangement of pieces, where you're attacking, very important. If the opponent is making weaknesses on the queen side and you're trying to attack the king, that's a mistake, of course. So basically just learning the most typical plans and how to react to your opponent's main plans would be a good starting point in all of these openings that you mentioned, the Rui Lopez, the Caro-Kann, and the King's Indian. What to do in the Dan Berlin and Petrov? Well, in the Berlin, you should probably just take the endgame. Just head in for the Berlin endgame and learn how to play endgames. And in the Petrov, up to you, man. Up to you. I don't know what to recommend in the Petrov. Knight c4 played, by the way. So knight c4 played, and here we expect that Anna-Maja is going to move her bishop. Where to move the bishop? Do we go to c7 or to e7? Probably both should be fine. I guess I have a preference for c7. Although there are some so there are drawbacks. Again, there are pros and cons. On c7, the bishop is undefended and is susceptible to future rook takes d5 and maybe queen takes c7 tactics. On e7, the bishop doesn't contribute in the kingside attack, but it's much safer to any tactical shots, and you can continue with bishop to e6 next. So, yeah, I guess you would have to calculate a bit to understand the concreteness of the position and to see if the decision is critical. Bishop to b8 I'm also considering, but it's very artificial. It's very, very artificial. I mean, why would you just break the communication of the rook from c8 to the bishop on from the rook on a8 to the bishop on c8? So, yeah, I guess pros and cons for both. Yeah, bishop to c7 is more natural, but I think also riskier. Depends what your risk profile is. Are you willing to play for a win at all costs and just burn bridges? Or are you okay with making, like, slower positional moves? I like bishop to c7 in a blitz game. In a classical game, I think I prefer bishop to e7. Just way safer tactically. So Akjet, are you willing to sub me out on the shift, or do you still have to work on your thesis or whatever? At this ELO, does the game time matter? Yes, you should quit playing 3-minute blitz and you should start playing real chess. If you want to improve, of course. If you're just playing for the enjoyment and entertainment, you can continue to spam blitz. But if you actually care about getting better at chess, you should cut down. A real chess is what? Something above 10 minutes? Preferably, so at least 10 plus 0. At least 10 plus 0, but preferably something even longer, like, 10 plus 5, 15 plus 10. 15 plus 10 might be a bit too long, actually. Yeah, no, 3-minute blitz is going to reinforce bad habits at this ELO. I didn't even touch blitz until I was around 2000 strength in blitz rating. Like, I was just playing way slower games and only OTB. But then again, your journey might be very different from mine. So I'm just giving advice based on my job as a coach, not so much based on my own experience. You should also separate the games that you play for improvement versus the ones that you play for entertainment. So, like, if you really want to improve, you could consider slower time controls, and if you just want to have some fun and pass time, you can still play blitz for fun. Just don't spam too many of those. Knight c3 is what you see most often OTB when playing the Petrov. Okay, interesting. So you are a Petrov player. Blue boy is at 3:30. Okay. E4, E5, knight F3, knight F6, knight takes E5, D6, knight F3, knight takes E4, knight C3. Yeah, okay. So knight takes C3, D takes C3, and we play. Yeah, I believe this is very equal. Yeah, it's completely equal. It's not supposed to give white much advantage, but there are some pitfalls, some traps. I played this once OTB. I think I was unrated. And beaten 1950 in this line with white. And he got crushed on the king side too. This was like 14 years ago though, when I was just about to get my first rating. But yeah, guys, so Blue Boy, what you were saying about the stream, I might have to go soon. That's true. But before I leave, do you want to confess your earlier crime? Were you the one to join and spam this G5? That's what's exciting. Oh, G4. Goodness me. She's not pulling any punches here. She's not like Mike Tyson. He is not like Mike Tyson, guys. She is punching here. G4 is interesting. But it does have the same critical flaw. You cannot easily put two heavy pieces on the H file without succumbing to this H4. So I'm unsure how the game will progress here. But she is up a pawn, so maybe this is a positional move. Maybe she wants to lock up the king side first and then continue play as usual. Engine likes this. Interesting. But okay, guys, I do have to depart the premises. Sorry for not being able to cover the full match, the full game. I might be in the chat, but I do have some other duties. So thanks for listening to my incessant yapping. And hope that Anna-Maja wins this game. I'll be following with interest. And wait, what do you mean B4? B4 is a move that's suggested? Oh, that's very engine-like. I cannot take that? I cannot take that because of things. Oh, okay. Too deep. Again, I don't think he's gonna find B4. In any case, guys, thank you so much for listening. Of course, the stream will be ongoing, but my voice is going to disappear now. So, ciao, ragazzi.
Hello, chat. Guess who's back? Hello. Hi. How's my volume and mic quality and everything? Please let me know if it's okay. Hi, Nerdy. Welcome to the chat. Is it possible for you to join me as well? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? I've created more stuff. They want to see Marshall, man. Yeah, chop that up. I know the lyrics, but I don't want to say it out loud on stream. All right, let me catch up with the game. So last I saw, Queen D2 was played. C3. What did Anna play after Bishop C3? Was it A5? Oh. Okay. After Bishop C3, not bad. Let's take a quick look. Queen has gone back to D2 now. This doesn't seem good. So that is 6. Rooks was played. Interesting. Rook G6 is solidified with the Queen. King E7. So there's Bishop C3. I don't understand. But okay, A5. A5 is good. Alright, Queen D2 back, and now Anna-Maja to play. The clock situation right now is Anna-Maja with 21 minutes and her opponent with 37. She needs to make 18 more moves. This is looking a little rough. Slowly. She has a few ideas here. Let's see. Queen C7 is a good one to get out of the D file, of course. Queen C7 or B6 is okay. Engine, however, wants me to just play H5, H4. Okay, but there will be a lot of trades on D. So White's going to take on D5, and then that dark squared bishop is going to look strong. All of... Okay, no, not yet, not yet. So currently our A5 pawn is hanging, but I don't think we care. This start, we thought she had a little edge when she pushed G5. Oh, guys, we can rest easy. The rate of G5s per game is going back up again. A5 pawn. Although I don't know why yet. Maybe. Hmm. I mean, okay, they don't make a lot of sense. They don't make a lot of difference with all these moves. There isn't like one killer blow or a plan just yet. We can slow play this. Like before h5, we can also play b6. But okay, h5, h4 is probably the only reasonable pawn break we have in this game. But because we don't have a rook on the h file, I'm not sure about it yet. And there's no way we can play rook h8 either. So wait, did she move? Okay, she just moved the queen away from the d file. Good. And now it's up to white. White is with 36 minutes, and Anna-Maja is on 18. And she needs to make 17 more moves. It could get close. I mean, almost every game has been on the bad things more than she's been on the good side. But hey, maybe we can change that this game. How many points does she gain if she? Is it like +5 or +8 or something? Because they're virtually the same rating. Also, I'm not entirely sure how ELO works. So let's say two players of the same rating make a draw. Do they both get +0? Position is still pretty close, but there is tension on the d5 square. White could take on d5 once if you want. Thanks, MVL. All right. And what happens if she wins this game? Does she get a +5? She gets a. Is ELO 0 sum? No, it's not. Oh no. Can you hear me? Hello? Right, her K is 20. It goes down to 10, I think, if she hits 2400. Her K factor dropped to 20 once she crossed 20. And once she hits 2400, I think it will become K10. Right. All right, Mr. Paprochki. I hope that's how it's pronounced. Don't come at me, Polish people in chat. Paprochki. Yaroslav. Man's taking some time, and we like to see it. He is still almost double Anna-Maja's clock, though, so let's wait for him. Yes, hi, I'm Danny. welcome to the chat, and thank you. Yes, I know now. So if she wins here, she gets plus 10. If she wins against a much higher rated opponent, she gets more than plus 10, which is good. Fly you fools, exactly. Once you hit 2400 in your lifetime, anytime, your K drops to 10 and it will not go up. Which is why Anna-Maja, her K dropped to 20 when she hit 2300 in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 16. Even though she dropped below 2100 in rating, since then, her K has still been 20. It's sad. Paprotsky. Oh, really? It's not Paprotsky? Paprotsky. Interesting. Is it like Kacper Piorun? All right, man's taken the knight. How does she recapture? I believe we would like to keep the d file open, as in without a pawn on it. So she takes back with the bishop. Best move played. And now it's back to white to maneuver something. Right, so the CZ makes a difference. So if it's just a C, it's Paprotsky. All right, thanks. Some good. Forgot the term for this. I want to say etymology, but I don't think that's right. Something about pronunciation of Polish, that is. Anyway, the 2D board is not updated, but guys, we've had a trade on d5. So bishop takes has been played. He is on. Well, they have made 24 moves. That means she has 16 moves to play. Okay. Yes, nerdy. I don't know how Hungarian became a thing. I don't know what the language, what their neighboring languages sound like, but Hungarian sounds very alien. No chaos. That was not a good try. You can do better than this. Rook c1 on the board. The queen on the c file. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. It's on our court. We have to come up with a plan. h5 is always on the cards. It's still a good move. And we're back. Like nothing in the position. I feel like he's just making waiting moves at this point. The same idea still exists. We can play b6 to protect a5. Play h5 to play h4 at some 5. Rook h6 maybe an idea. Check. This 10% the same song that I was. What Ajad said makes sense too. Is just once again prophylaxis, so you don't get attacked later. You don't get checked. That bishop on d5 is basically a fancy looking pawn for now, because all of black's pawns are on light squares. It's crazy. Like, what is it even doing? Who here in chat knows Styles of Beyond? Recently? Well, lately, this week actually. Oh, sorry, last week. Since last week, I've been playing. I'm playing it for the, I don't know how many, I want to say 20th time or something, but probably something like that. It's great. That's the game where I learned of this duo first, and other good bands actually. That game had an amazing soundtrack. I discovered so many bands that I was obsessed with in high school, etc. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Stars of Beyond lately, and yeah, remember the name is also one of theirs. Although the main artist there is Fort Minor, which is, if in case you didn't know, hello chess lover. So he is up on time by, I want to say 20 minutes, but let me check. He is, okay, he's got double her time, more than double. She's on 14, he's on 31. Yes, thanks, Debmate. Correct. Once they hit 2400, the K drops to 10 forever. Yes, chat, now is the time. Look, we have this in real time. This is what's going on. This is exactly what she's doing right now. From the same side, too. But yeah, she's following the trend of going really low on the clock. Although I can imagine in this position, she would still like to use some time because it looks pretty blocked and you don't want to give white too much either. So it's tough. Let's see. Looks. And now it really. Oh yeah, chaos. It's a classic. It is a classic. Fun fact: I had performed this in school, but I don't know, we were like 15 or something. Llobregat open. Mario, Anna-Maja here doesn't need to trick anyone because trouble addict. Although when both players are in a time scramble, her elo goes up by about 200 points. She has swindled many a high-rated opponent in that fashion. Although today she's also going pretty low on the clock. 11 minutes. Oh no, she's like approaching single digits on the minutes side. This is not looking good. We need a move. She has brought the king up. Engine wanted king f7, but she's put it on e6. Makes no big difference. The idea is keep it on a light square and around some pieces. Because white still has a lot of heavy pieces on the board. So I don't know. Bro, if anything, this is daring chess. If it works, it ain't stupid. Remember, if it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid. Okay. Rook fd1 played. Moves. Well, that bishop on d5 can never really be targeted, which is basically a pawn. Pawn on d5 is looking pretty safe for now. We could do anything here. Same idea still exists, really. Black can just chill. Black can be a chill guy. So b6, h5, rook h6, queen h7, h4. Oh no. But okay, that's a lot of moves. Why do we want to get the queen off the safe? There could be a tactic of, white can move the bishop away and then take on d5 with the queen. But of course, she's not going to allow that for free. Okay, whatever maneuvering is going on now, she needs to make it happen fast. She's still on 10 minutes. Opponent's on 30. This is literally 3 times her time. And she's got that head in her hands. My head in my hands. Can someone tell if they recognize this line? Please don't. Bishop b4. Oh yeah, bishop b4 comes with the threat of queen takes d5. Although we can just trade stuff there. No, you don't want to allow the rook on c7. True. Where do we want to move the queen though? Maybe e7. Come on, Anna, make a move. She's still waiting. She has gone below 10 minutes now. She's gone below 9 minutes, guys. She's on 8 minutes and 55 seconds. This is not okay. We don't like to see this. You're right. Sure, Grace. Yeah, she has basically 2 pawns for a pawn. So she has that extra pawn on c6 and the extra pawn on d5. Yeah, she just needs to find a way to activate that bishop or not let it fall to some tactic like, bishop somewhere and queen takes d5. So queen d8, interesting, but that blocks the rook. I don't know if I want that. Maybe if I were to play d8, I'd play queen d7. But maybe putting the queen on a dark square is better, like queen e7 to support the h4 push in the future. Like queen e7, h5, h4, and we create something on the king side. But I don't know how safe the queen side is with the king on e6 especially. That's something to ponder over. Now she has gone below 7 minutes, chat. She's on 6 minutes and 50 something. Come on, Anna, move. You can do it. The time 20th move, they both get 15 added minutes. Also, hello, Mads. Mads. Come on, Anna, she's gone to below 6 minutes. She's on 5 minutes and 50 seconds now. We don't like this. She needs to make 15 more moves. 15. Exactly, that fly fools, I agree with you. You should have either put no added time or 30 minutes. Because 15 minutes is like, here, congratulations, you can think on one more move and you're back to time trouble. Alright, come on. Getting dangerously low. Ouch. Opponent is on 30 minutes, guys. Opponent is on 30 whole minutes. And she's trying to figure out some plan by taking up all of her time. She has now officially gone below 5 minutes on the clock. It's 4 minutes and 55 seconds or something. We don't like this. The stream is delayed from the live board. The live board is about 20 something seconds faster. But come on. Come on, Anna. Move. H5. That's what's exciting. Let's go. She has figured it out. She's going for all of the ideas in her head. I believe the next few moves she can blitz out. Because she must know what to do. Hopefully. She cannot afford to think more on these next 10 moves or so. 10, 15 moves at all. We just need 2 pieces to move off from the dark squares. And it's a beautiful picture. Let's see what we think here. Yeah. She's deep in the think tank. Her opponent can take like a long time now and still be up on time. We don't like it. But hey, every minute. It does look drawish, yeah. Yes, true, because it's pretty solid. But of course, she wants to win. She's gone without a win in this tournament so far. And this is the lowest rated opponent that she is facing. And she would not like to lose. So, yeah, if you watched yesterday's game, should have seen like people were calling her out for not resigning about 20-30 moves before she did. She's really playing until the end. I think she will play until the end too. What I don't like is the clock situation. Like the drawish part is that you can just sit and do nothing. But of course, black is not going to do nothing. The clock is a big factor here. It is not on our side right now, which is what I don't like. And white will definitely push for a win, especially because he's up on the clock by hours. In his place. Ouch. Her king is placed well on e6, I think, because why not? Although now is what do we do? So if the bishop moves, we have to move our queen from the c file. Hopefully, I don't know, protect d5 once again, or get control of the light square, the dark square diagonal maybe. Oh yeah, Ajit, you make a good point. This is unlike yesterday's game, where if we trade all the heavy pieces down, it will become an opposite colored bishop endgame. And those things are more drawn than almost anything else. They're probably more drawish than rook endgames. Queens are on the board, anything can happen. Like, this is where you do need the time. And our friend Mr. Paprotsky here is down to 26 minutes. It seems like he didn't take any time at all. Dirkia, don't check. Don't remind me. I was supposed to sleep earlier. It looks like as soon as this game's over, I'm gonna pass out. I couldn't sleep now anyway, so. I mean, Silver Surfer, it's not really that she will lose on the clock. Like, we don't mean she will forget to make a move before it hits 0. But what we mean is because of the time pressure, she will make subpar moves and throw her advantage, or basically give her opponent an advantage. Nerdy, it took me a second to realize what BBQ means. I would like to BBQ. It is summer here after all. Today, more like yesterday, we had a very hot day after many days of rain. Like in the weekend, Friday, Saturday, it was raining almost nonstop. But yeah, okay. Yeah, it's so hot, guys. We're hitting 36, 37, 38. This week is not fun. Not fun. I think at some point I saw 39, 40, but that was only for about an hour or two. Fly Fools. We do a lot of barbecue, but yeah, I just didn't get it. Yes, Dirk. Yeah, yes, 40 Fahrenheit. I don't even know if that's a viable temperature for humans or not. I have no idea what the Fahrenheit scale feels like. Actually, that would be the opposite of ideal for me. I don't really like summers. I've had enough of summer my whole life. Um, I have grown up in like summers of 50 degrees. We used to play football in 50 degrees, guys. It's crazy. Good times, good times. I'm not really so much affected by the dry heat here in the summer. Like my body's like, oh yeah, here it is again. It's been years, but I remember how to deal with this. It's not pleasant though. I wouldn't say it's pleasant. It's just a little more bearable than, let's say, someone who's used to Dutch weather, for example. Good one, Chaos, but yes, no. Yeah, 50 degrees C was. Yes, 50 degrees C, correct. But not all the time, of course. As in, a few hours in the day, it used to hit 50. Hello, Blubishiously. It's looking like zeros, but her clock time is making it not feel like zeros. Ooh, 45 degrees C. Nordy, how did you deal with it? As in, what were you doing near the Dead Sea? Did you go into the Dead Sea, by the way? Yo, OTB tournament with the football side event sounds so good. Akjet, um, earlier this year in Sharjah, on one of the rounds, there was a football event after the rounds finished. So you see the Masters, they started 2 hours before us. Like I already started 2 hours before them, and my game went on until like the very end for so long. Like I was up a piece, but I was still taking forever to convert, and I won eventually. But by the time I got back to the hotel, everyone returned. I saw all these GMs, all these Indian GMs, and all these guys. They're in their football jerseys and shorts, having dinner. I really wanted to play, but sad. The 2 hour delay was, I didn't like it. It should have been 1 hour, like, at most. But okay. No, Dirk, I cannot talk slower. I mean, no, not with this clock situation going on. I just want Mr. Paprotsky to think slower now. Oh shit. Hey, that's cool. Katarina, you mean Katarina, the German streamer? Nice. It's an interesting question, yes. Chaos, what do you play? Also, Agjet, what do you play? If anyone who plays football, not soccer, football, what position do you play? I'm usually left wing on attack, so not really on strike, but more like attacking midfielder on the left side. Oh, nice. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about the saltwater nerdy. Did you go and just float in the saltiest water on earth? Oh yeah, waiting outside for the like in the sun, crazy. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, Papa Roachki. Papa Roachki is very close to Papa Roach. Anyone? Anyone? Cut my life into pieces. Anyone? Wait, what does? I'm not that tall anymore now. What does that mean? Did someone like cut off your legs or something? Queen d6. Yes, Queen d6 looks perfectly okay. Getting away from the c file, staying on the f8 a3 diagonal. Yes, mate. You're right. That's the only song anyone knows of Papa Roach. I'm sorry, but everyone should know that song. There was a new version that released a few years ago during COVID, I think, or just before COVID, if I'm not mistaken. I like that one too. It's the same guy, but featuring someone new, I think. Well, oops. Whoa, Nori, that fun fact today I learned. I didn't know, but now that you mention it, I think it's right. As in every picture that I've ever seen of people floating there, they're floating on their back, like reading books or whatever. But I wonder why you. I'm gonna look up the physics of this sometime, but not right now. Silver Surfer, you're exactly right. Yes. Once he gets low on time as well, guys, remember when it's a mutual time scramble, Anna-Maja's elo is at least 200 points higher. This is proven fact since 2021. We're just waiting for him to go down to like 5 minutes, and she will outplay him easy. Maybe in that way, it's a good thing that we have too many moves until time control. Interesting. See, you gotta be optimistic. When you swim, your legs are fully underwater. Okay, that makes sense. You can't keep them to. All right, so your face falls inside the water because your leg goes up. Interesting. That would be very weird. Like, I've done a lot of swimming in my life, but going into a water where I cannot go down or I cannot swim will be very weird. Hello, very nice. Well, you're right. It's a very complex position with many tricks in it. That's one for the Jawakar fans. All right, I see his clock has gone down to 16 minutes, which is good, from 30 to 16. We like it. Also, welcome, Blunder Lab. Thanks for the raid. I hope you had a good stream, whatever you were doing. If you were streaming chess, I hope your blunders were not as high as in my games. Guys, does chess.com have a take back feature in any possible game? Oh, okay. Thanks. Yes, chat, the time gap has gone down to 10 minutes now. She is on 5 minutes and 5 seconds, whereas the opponent is on 15 minutes and 15 seconds. Good stuff. All right, we like it. Come on. Take like another 10 minutes, Mr. Paparochski. Cut my life into pieces. This is my. And he makes a move just as I say. Bishop b2, we expected it. The bishop goes away from the c file. Now that tactic is in the air of queen takes d5, so the queen has to move, or the bishop has to be protected with something other than the pawn and king. Which means something like rook d8 is also possible, but the best move here would be moving the queen away, because you want to get it to a more active diagonal at the very least, because right now it's not doing much. So queen somewhere would be nice. Queen d7, queen e7, even queen d6 is okay. Hello, Jaromir Chess. Good to know you're streaming as well. Queen d6 play, best move on the board. We like to see it. The clock times are the same, and she needs to play fast moves. We are on move 28 now, which means both players need to make 13 more moves. Oof, David. I don't know how to say this. I want to say Mayor. Mayor? Mayor. David Mayor. Chess lover. Why was Queen d6 very important to find? Can you tell us? Why not Queen e7, for example? Oh no, I'm not ChatGPT. Oops. But why? How does ChatGPT say it? Or wait, does ChatGPT even speak? Oh yeah, it does. I think it does. All right. So the idea is white is threatening to play queen d4 and queen e5. So you want to defend against it. Makes sense. Okay, rook c4 is not okay. No. Wait, throws out an error? What? Why can't it say mayor? Is right now is good too. And he plays rook c4. Wow. Okay, let's go. All right. It's not too bad, guys. Like all the moves that I see on the engine are still 0 point something, so it's not too bad. b6 is okay. b6 holds everything down. b6, h4, they're both okay. Even b5 is okay, man. b5 and the rook has to go back. True. Whatever it is, just move. Like Anna is down to almost 3 minutes. Actually, below 3 minutes. She's down to 2 minutes 50. Come on, Anna. Come on, move. She needs that extension on Chrome with Hikaru and Levi telling her, move, just make a move. b5 played. Okay, not bad. Just telling the rook, what are you doing here? Go away, I don't like you. And now also this helps because if bishop a3, we have b4 in some way. But rook is going to go back to c2 now. I don't see where else it can go. Or c1, but c1 is to keep that pawn. Sorry, c1 square may want to be empty for the queen to play that bishop a3 idea. Oh, he doesn't. He just plays rook d4 instead. Okay. Now we're cooking because the queen cannot attack. Queen cannot get on the long diagonal anymore. This looks good for us somehow. I feel good. What? Come on, my spidey sense is tingling. I'm pretty sure Anna's must be too. We can just h4 now. Or, I don't know, move the king? Or develop the other rook? Because that rook, okay, I don't know. Nah, that rook is needed to protect a5. God. White is not threatening much here. That's for sure. If they really want to sack the exchange on d5, I mean, be my guest, but yeah. It's still like triple zeros here. What did she do? She has pushed b5. Okay. b4, sorry. Oh my god, these coordinates. Good thing GM Solver has gone to sleep. Alright, b4 has been played. White can poke this with a3. We don't like it. But at least now the rook can move from a8. I think that's what she wants to do now. Activate the final piece that has not moved the entire game. Every other piece has moved. The king has moved 2 squares up, where that rook is still in the corner. Yeah, poking that with a3 is an issue because b4 is feeling the pressure. What's he gonna do? Mr. Paparoch. He has played a3. Okay. I'm sure. And what's her reply going to be? She's down to 2.5 minutes. And he's on 13. She's below 2 minutes. He's on 13. Oops. We could use the g6 rook to double somewhere. But rook b8, yeah, it has to be played because b4 is under a lot of threat. Rook b8 is a nice move because if the trades happen, then we're in front of the b pawn. Okay, her rook b8 played. Good. She did with some more seconds left on the clock. She is now below 1 minute. We don't like to see this, guys. We don't like to see this. He has taken the pawn. How does she recapture? How does she recapture the pawn? Keeping it locked with a takes, or keeping it open for the white pieces with rook takes. Hello, Alberto. Welcome. So if rook takes, there is bishop a3, and we cry. Wait. Time? Hello? 30 seconds? Come on, Anna, just take it back with the pawn. She's not going to let bishop a3 happen. So she has to take it with the pawn. Come on. Time. 30 seconds? 13 seconds? 10? 9? She takes it. Oh my god, this girl. Our collective pressures are rising. This is, yeah, actually, I don't know. Like, I hope she's not in one of those paralysis by analysis situations. Like, she does not have the time. She cannot afford this. Chaos, I was looking at the time on the DGT on the link. So there it went down to 10, but now it's 50, which means she was at 20 seconds because she got a plus 30. So she made the move at 20 seconds. Yes. And chat, she needs to make 9 more moves to reach time control. We need to use that rook. You're right. Rook on g6 is doing nothing, so we need to do something about it. Either get it, like one idea is to bring it to the a file, double up, connect rooks on the 8th rank, or yeah, we have to connect rooks, I think, because white has put a rook in the corner on the open a file. Something about it. We can bring the rook back, or we can push h4. All right. She needs to make 9 moves. Come on, Anna. She has like less than 50 seconds to make this move. Just move the rook. Queen has moved to c5. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Like the queen, the bishop is not pinned or anything. Now, dare I say the b3 pawn is hanging? I don't even know if that's something we can dare to take. But yeah, engine preferred rook b7 just so that rook a7 was not allowed. But now the queen c5 move attacks, sorry, defends a7. Okay, what can white do here? Let's say white attacks the rook a. We don't really need to do anything. We can just develop, move the rook. Embasilo. I will give you a link which you can use to check this stuff out. Here it is. This is Alliance Merch. Okay, she has played. What has she played? What has he played? Did he just play rook c1? Yeah, I think he just played rook c1. All right. I don't see the clock anymore. What is she doing? She's down to almost 10 seconds. Anna, 9, 8, 7, 6. Queen back to d6. Okay. Played with barely a few seconds left on the clock. This is very, very high pressure chat. Move, move. Do you think she will take a draw here if he repeats? I mean, we did do it once. I don't know if now is the time to make creative initiatives because firstly, where is the time? and her pieces seem offside to do anything really. But I know white doesn't have a breakthrough, but it's still hard to push. Because, see, at the end of the day, a draw is better than a loss. You push too far. And she's repeating. She's basic white go. She can play d6 and it should be a draw, I think. Now the question really is, if rook c1 is played, will she make a different move? Like, yeah, I know she got few added seconds, but she also took seconds for this. She's currently at 1 minute, which is not nice. If there's another move, she needs to find, sorry, if there's another idea, she needs to find it right now. Wait, really? Did she make a move with a different hand than the clock? I didn't catch that. Imagine opponent gets extra time. That'd be so funny. Like, it doesn't matter, dude. When she's below a minute, it doesn't matter if he's on 5 or 10. Oh, you guys, that is normal. If she's done this her whole life. She writes moves with left hand, but she plays and taps the clock with her right hand. That is completely okay. Like, you just have to use the same hand for the piece and clock, not the pen. Okay, rook c1 played. Now this is basically a draw offer. And it's up to her to take it or not. Queen d6 is a draw, guys. She is a little sad looking that there's nothing else in this position, but her time is ticking down. And if she wants to do anything over here, now's the time. Doesn't look like it from her facial expressions. This looks like it may go to a draw in this way. She's nodding her head, and she has played rook d6, where we can claim a draw. Right? Come on. Tell me I'm not pretty sure they can claim a draw now, no? Okay, this is 1, 2. Oh, sorry. Now if I think, okay, now rook a1 is a draw. Right, sorry. My bad. He just basically threw it to him now. It's all up to him. If he wants to draw, he has a draw right now. And if he wants to do something else, now's the time. She's basically given up on trying. But okay. Wait, so if he plays rook a1, writes it down, and then pauses the clock, what happens? I mean, I know the procedure, like you have to write it down and then pause. But what if he plays it and then pauses the clock? Whoa. I did not know that. Nice, okay. Nice, thanks for clarifying that. Illegal. Okay, what's his clock, by the way? It is below a minute, and he is on 7. He's looking hard in the position to find any other signs of life. And that's... Wait, he did not claim it. That means he wants to play on. Right? Okay. No, I mean, he could have claimed it one move earlier, but anyway, GG guys, GG. They agreed to. He didn't resign, chat. This game has ended in a draw. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. It was a good time. GG. So Anna-Maja is currently on 1 out of 4 with 2 losses. She's on 1 out of 4 with 2 losses, guys. Well, thanks for listening to me yapping, guys. We're watching some post-mortem of the game, which was pretty close from start to finish. And I expect on paper the result is not a surprise because look at the ratings. She tried a lot. She didn't castle. She threw all her pawns in the air. She played king e6. Look, she's even talking about the queenside pawns. But yeah, at some point she should have, I don't know, played h4. Anyway, I hope she's not too bummed about the result because, hey, if it's not a loss, it's not bad. GG. See you all again tomorrow, same time, which is 4 p.m. Spanish time, for round 5 of the Llobregat Chess Open 2024, where Anna-Maja will try to play and win a game for the first time this tournament. Thanks everyone for hanging out. And I guess we'll see streamer in chat. Oh, hey, Strifus. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. Good stuff. All right, thanks. Let's raid. Who do we raid, guys? Ooh, I see a streamer that I have not seen